What up, babes? Chapter 1073. A wild fucking chapter. And honestly, you could say it's just wild for a single reason. And I'd be 100% in agreement with you. But craziness is occurring before our very eyes. Oda has decided that no hierarchy that he's ever made matters. Oda has decided that nothing matters anymore. All that matters is his creativity in the finale of his amazing work of art. So here we are. Lucci did not put up much of a fight. 1073, he absolutely didn't. I also got the chapter very early. I'm an Android user, and sometimes it benefits me in these last couple. The first thing I get it on is this little manga browser I have, and it pulled up like quick, as opposed to the normal one that I find on Discord, some One Piece server that gets the official scans quickly. But these scans are usually slightly different, but nothing crazy different in them. I usually will refrain from reading unless it's like a notarized scanned through a certain group, or I won't really read it. But I do like the different translations because you can kind of bring out different things from that. But yeah, I got it early, and very, very surprised with a couple things. Lucci didn't put up a fight like I thought he would. Literally, when I ended the last video, I forgot about Wapple's mom. Miss Bucking, I think was her name, back in like chapter 8 something, 872 or something like that, early 9s, something like that, when the warlords were finally getting like attacked, and we didn't really know what happened, especially with Wapple himself. So it turns out that he actually did escape, but we'll get to that in a second. First things first, Lucci didn't put up much of a fight at all. Lucci got sea-stoned with some lipstick, bit, and he's out with Kaku. We had a little clash that I enjoyed between Zoro and Mihawk, and he had a very interesting quote when he made connection with him. He's like, I get to see more and more humanity in you, which I find interesting because I've heard a couple theories that Mihawk is a clone. But that's the theories nowadays, is everybody and their mother is a clone. Everybody. Like, who's a clone, who's not a clone, I don't know. And you don't know either, but we're kind of just, speculating on certain things now. Find out that that's who Dr. Vegapunk called. He did call for Stussy. Stussy accomplished her job without fail. We know that Stussy is a clone, and Edison was able to stop the Seraphim. So at the moment, everything on Egghead has calmed down. However, shit is about to hit the fan like craziness for so many different reasons, and I'm so excited because they're finally doing something that I didn't know when they were going to do it. I didn't know how it was going to look, but it's going to happen. But the worst part is now Bonnie. Bonnie's nowhere to be seen at the moment. I don't think she's necessarily in a bad spot herself, but Vegapunk has gone missing. And not only has he gone missing, I'm pretty sure he went missing as a child. I think he's missing as a child, which I think will benefit the world a lot, because I don't know if a lot of people are going to be able to recognize a child like Vegapunk. So he'll kind of just be scurrying around somewhere. Where he disappeared to, I have no idea. I think him and Bonnie might be together, because the only way that I see them disappearing is through Kuma's hand, right? The floating hand that Bonnie saw that was supposedly a memory, that's where Vegapunk is. Was it a flashback? Is Vegapunk gonna have to create something to bring him back to the present? I'm not sure. I don't know exactly what's happening with that, but it has been said that the event Vegapunk has disappeared. I think that he'll probably disappear with Bonnie, just because I feel like whatever they were doing together is the reason that he disappeared. Bonnie's powers don't have anything to do with disappearing, and nobody on that island, except debatably the Lunafista Kuma, could even make him disappear. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that, but Vegapunk has disappeared, which I'm kind of cool with, because then we're in this kind of situation where all the satellites are kind of up for grabs now. Like, they can all be disposed of. They're all kind of robots. So Oda's kind of against killing humans, but he's not really above killing like robots or creature-ish type things. So I would say that these guys might be about to be slaughtered. And now I know it's calm right now, and then we get a random flashback. I was like, wait a minute, this cannot be accurate to what we're looking at now, but it is. While Marco was returning from Wano, Whitebeard's hometown was attacked. Now, what's really interesting about this to me is initially I actually read every chapter or every page of this chapter except the final page, just because I thought the second to last page was without question the last thing on there. But I went back and I was like, oh shit, there's another page here. Green Bull actually attacked. He had to come in after Wapol just destroyed the people after Whitebeard's treasure. They called for reinforcements, and on the way back from Wano, Green Bull's like, hey, I got this. Now, I know that they were maybe relaxing for a little bit longer, but I can't imagine that he had that much of a head start on Marco. But I guess he did, and I guess he was able to take them out. I wasn't sure. I assumed that it was probably Fujitora when I first read it, but then when I saw that last page, it confirms that it was Green Bull on the way back, who captured Wapol and is probably on his way back to Navy HQ right now with one of the warlords. Wapol's really strong. I mean, this definitely puts a limiter, a governor on how strong he truly is, losing to an admiral, but it's an admiral. And I think Green Bull kind of looked like shit. Green Bill looked like shit early on, but I think that he's finally going to kind of rise to the occasion. And Wapol, who looked unbeatable, undefeatable, didn't really fight anybody notable in any way, and as he does, he's now lost. But we can almost assume that he's a clone too. How we can assume that is Miss Buckingham, the original, not Stussy, was clearly, she was like, Vegapunk's the only one that can prove that they're blood related between Wapol and why it sounds like the fucking big guy who eats shit, Wapol, but it's Wapol, right? Or these guys are different. Their names are spelled too similarly. But Whitebeard's son is blood related to Whitebeard. And I think what that really means is the lineage factor that was kind of talked about earlier from Vegapunk, which I believe is why we would be able to prove that. And I think with almost every single clone, it's all about the lineage factor. It has nothing really to do with him actually being blood related, but actually having Whitebeard's blood coursing through his veins, having his, or at least a piece of his abilities coursing through him. Even without a devil fruit, he's still freakishly strong, and that has to be connected to Whitebeard in some way. And now that cloning is up for grabs, we have to just about directly assume that that's the case. And then we kind of assume, okay, well, if the Rocks Pirates were kind of the first people to be cloned, how many of the Rocks Pirates were cloned? And immediately you think of Zebek. Immediately. And that's normal. You should. Absolutely. Is that Imu-sama? Like, the big questions are already being asked and we're not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I could totally see it with the clones being what they are, but I don't know. Who's a clone? Who's not a clone? What's going on? I don't know. Introduction of clones this late into the series is damning in a lot of different ways, but we'll see what Oda decides to do with that. I mean, it's kind of open to whatever he really wants. But what we can assume right now is Stussy's a clone and Wapol is a clone. And besides that, we don't really know. Wapol could have been a failed Whitebeard clone. I like to think that that's kind of the case there. I don't know why Miss Buckingham, the old lady version, decided to stick with him, but she did. Lot of questions there. But Marco just kind of returned, and he was like, well, thanks. I mean, he's a hero. He protected that, and it is like kind of poetic, but I don't really give a shit about Wapol, and I'm sure you guys don't really either. So the fact that he's kind of out of the story is fine with me. I think he's just going to further confirm clones, and what's more important than him, the warlord himself, is Miss Buckingham, who is a member of the Rocks Pirates and probably knows a ton of history. And as we come to the final conclusion, it's all about history. It's all about who knows what. So we'll see what she knows. But the biggest name drop, the biggest bomb drop in this chapter, without question, I'm reading it here, is Saint JayGarcia Saturn, a member of the Five Elders. So now that they've gotten the Lunafistas under control, we're literally working our way up the hierarchy, right? On who gets to control what. Because it went, I think Sentamara was in there. It went the little like things that they have that can control them. And now that the satellites are there, now the satellites are in control. And I believe Vegapunk is directly above them. Above them is the Five Elders. So when he gets to that island, he's going to be able to control the satellites, whether it be by mic or whether he is a fighter, which I think is something we're going to learn very, very soon. And is it going to confirm or deny if all of them are fighters? No. But this is the first time that we've seen a Five Elder on the move. And not only is he on the move, but you have to understand, the last time that they heard about Luffy's whereabouts and him taking out Kaido and them being like, no, like him doing that is a bigger problem. Him winning that war is a bigger problem than both Big Mom and Kaido teaming up and going after the One Piece. We don't really know why that is. I mean, even at this point, Luffy can't be as strong as those two combined. He's just not. But it's a bigger problem. And it's such a fucking big problem that that dude is on a ship on the move to Egghead right now. Right now. And they're going to be looking for Dr. Vegapunk. They're not going to be able to find him. And they're going to have the strongest current admiral. And it's kind of speculation, I guess, a little bit. But come on. Kizaru's on the way. And JayGarcia Saturn. Saturn is also a very interesting name. Clearly a noble name. Clearly a celestial dragon type. But why is his name spacey? I know there's been a lot of rumors with One Piece in space. And that kind of like is interesting that we finally get one of their names and it is space related. Probably nothing, right? Probably. But I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I'm very excited to see what he does. Is he a fighter? Kizaru's like tending to him like he's a maid, and that's fucking Borsallino himself. Of course, he's a celestial dragon, and they're kind of dogs to those people, regardless if you're in the government, if you're in the Navy. But I don't know what that dude's doing on a ship. I don't know why he has to go out there himself. I mean, the biggest thing is the Seraphims, right? We can kind of assume that. But can he fight? Is it going to be harder than they think because of him specifically? I don't know. Is that a whole nother level? I have no idea, but I'm excited to see it, and it's going to be soon. Sadly, we do have a break, which is a shame, but things are opening up wide. The fact that we're getting a 5 Elders name, the fact that they're on the move, the fact that we might see them in combat, insanity. Plus the clones, I don't know. I have no fucking idea what's about to happen, but I am excited. Let me know what you think. Chapter was hot, 1073. We're almost to 1100. Craziness. You guys have a great weekend. Peace out.